Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau and Samantha Perry with you. Beautiful Sunday, hot Sunday here at Gulfstream Park. We're going to wrap up another big 3-day race week. We had those 2-year-old stakes yesterday, the Sharp Susan and the Proud Man, and neither disappointed. We'll review them in the lightning round, and you can see the beautiful turf course, firm turf course out there, a fast main track. Of course, the Tapeta as well, and I guess the big news now is that Rainbow Six, and boy, have they been betting this weekend.
Yeah.
The pools have been so healthy. We thank everybody out there for firing along with us, and that pool now has reached an estimation of $250,000, and look at that carryover, a big number, Samantha.
It is a huge number. The late pick, the pick six sequence is a good one today. Today is the last day of the grass course until August 30th. We're going to take a little break starting next week, so it's good. We've got 5 grass races today.
Okay, news to this handicapper. All right, good to know. And the turf has looked phenomenal.
Oh, it's been great. Yep.
You know, we took that little break. I guess it would have been last month, and as you can see, it's paid dividends as it's come back and looked great. And we just want to make sure everything's copacetic because it's never too early to think about the championship meet, and that'll be right around the corner. So as she said, we'll be take a little break on that turf course, but we've got good turf racing today. The maiden special weights all weekend, Friday, Saturday, and today have been very good.
Yep.
And I think noteworthy probably
Agreed.
as well.
Yeah.
To remember some names coming out of there. Early pick 5 goes in race number 1 in about 54 minutes. Let's take a look at my ticket here. Literally nothing changed for me today. That's how we like it. Very few significant scratches. I'm on a $36 early 5 here. 4 deep in this opener in this turf dash, a sprint that could be very wide open. Race 2, I've got the 3 Silent and Violent, a little bit more of a spread in race 3, another maiden special weight on the turf. I've got the 3 Forged Steel for Sappy. In race 4, I've got a single of the 7, and that is Fulanito, who should be, I would think it's going to be a short price, but there is a layoff to deal with. And then in race 5, I'll go 3 deep. The gang is kind of all here. And, you got Carlos David off the claim with the speed horse and Judge Judith, and you better look out there, and that is the 6 horse. So, $36 early pick 5, and let's get to it now because the opener, and Samantha will give a look to these 2-year-olds because there's a lot going on here, but we don't know a lot going in here.
Yeah, you said it. Besides the 2, the 4 horse.
Rapunzel for you. Who it better be a surface switch. You know what I found noteworthy, and I do the morning line at Laurel as well. When you got Nolan Ramsey up there at Laurel and he's winning a lot of races, this horse goes off at 5-1. They didn't bet a nickel on this horse.
See, I thought you're more familiar with it than me, Laurel. But I thought that for a 9-horse field, 5-1 was okay.
They bet his horses.
They
quite a
do.
bit up
Okay.
there.
Well, this is a Louisiana bred. They bought this horse at the Texas sale, and this is a horse that he worked 10-2 with that sale. He's definitely sprinty. It was there off you lose on debut. He just completely stood in the gate at the start. Now they're gonna drop him all the way down to the $35,000 level and try him on the grass here. The blinkers going on, I don't read a whole lot in. He just stood in the gate, so we'll see what we get today. But he's a good-looking horse, too, and I think that there's more potential here.
I will mention the 9, Cantharos Jr. is out, and the 4, Big Boy Jack, is a first-time gelding. He's a huge player in here. I went to my Sergeant, who will now be on the outside. I don't really like that. This Ronald Coy barn can be crafty. It can pop with a first-time starter, and if the money shows here, you might want to take a little second look.
Yeah, we'll watch the sales work. This was a OBS March, a $35,000 purchase. I wasn't a huge fan of this work, mainly, here's the thing. This horse was in the wrong lead. The rider kind of fought with him a little bit to get him into his correct lead, which was the right one. Very short-bodied. He's snappy, which is a good thing. It worked 10-1. It was 77 degrees, so just about average there. This horse is in the right spot, I would think, especially watching that, but he just has a very short walk about him. I don't know. He is debuting for the bottom, so maybe I am being a little harsh.
The Sharp Aztecas have been pretty precocious, too, as a young sire. You got to talk about the 4, Big Boy Jack for Antonio Sano, 3rd-time starter, the maiden special weight. He's a gelding today. He's run on turf. They're going to have to beat him.
They will, for sure, and Antonio Sano did this with the opener yesterday.
Literally won the opener yesterday, right?
Yep. Garuda.
In the sister race. So.
Yes.
take note of that. Good point there, and good to see that barn pick up a W. Early pick 4 goes in race number 2. We'll go a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. These are 3-year-olds or 4 and up, which have never won 3 races. It's clean, it's intact, and we'll start with you and I have the same exacta here. Silent and Violent for the D'Angelo barn. What do you think about this now? Because this is a horse that's never run against older horses. People are going to think this is a drop out of these starter optional claimers. Do you feel it's a drop?
No, this is a pretty tough $8,000 race.
I agree.
You've got some veterans in here.
Yeah, I agree. I don't. There's more going on here, and I'm not even sure on the face of it how much of a drop this is.
Yeah, it's very tough. And you look at who he was running against. It's not like they were the strongest runners for the 3-year-old. So, and he lacks speed. And let's talk about how the Tapeta's going to play today, because we'll see this all day today, especially in the routes. It doesn't matter if you put up a 25 and 50 first quarter and half. They don't come back to you after that.
Well, no, we saw it in the Bryce Canyon race yesterday, the Swan Lake race, where the horse just got loose and absolutely ran off the screen. And it's a very, very good point. It's hot. It has been all weekend. It's a tight course out there, and you got to pay attention to speed. So you're off the Spetro train, finally.
Yeah, I am. But, wow, today's going to be the day probably.
Why?
Because he's got some speed. Maybe it'll play out for him today.
60 cents on the dollar, 80 cents on the dollar. He can't get it done for Barboza and Edwin, and he's going to be a short number today.
Yeah, he will.
The beauty of it is, I mean, we should at least get fair value on Silent and Violent, because they can't do anything but bet Spetro.
With both hands.
With both hands. And no thanks for me. Captain Anthony's okay. He wasn't that far behind Spetro last time.
No, he wasn't. He's just one. He's always going to find 1 or 2 better, I feel like.
2 horses in here out of the 2 L's off the claim. The 2 Belly of Jelly, the 5 Bandero. Did you have any? You got the Belly of Jelly underneath.
I do, but now that the way, as I'm looking at this race now, we do this a few days ago. Bandero looks a lot more appealing with his running style.
He's got some speed.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Race number 3 now, another maiden special weight on the turf. We're going to go to 7.5 here, and this is the traditional setting. No rails. That's great to see. It's a clean race. But if you print it early, though, like we do, we've got to mention, just make sure you got your jockeys updated here. Ocasio is riding the 1. They're not jock switches, but if you print it out early, just make sure. Ocasio's on the 1. Edwin Gonzalez is on the 3, as Edgard, who was named on that horse, is up at Colonial on the million card up there. So just take note of that. We want to make sure, because it was kind of late for us as we print these out early. You are on the 2 Como for Cassie and DJ. We've got to show the replay. A very slow race, but well, there's a lot going on here. I'll let you run through it.
Yeah, well, you had him this day. And we've got Money Love in here as well. So this is what happens. So you see him in the silks. Boom, he almost drops that horse, and Aristotle was not going to win this.
No.
Como was going to win this, but he was disqualified. DJ Stable had the exacta here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he was green for sure.
Yeah, this was the easiest DQ of the year at any track of the year. But he was pretty good, and he was going to win.
Yes, regardless.
Comfortably. It was slow. But as you saw yesterday with Samantha's top pick in the Proud Man, so was that slow. In these 2-year-old races, maybe you need to give them a second look figure-wise.
Especially how they do it.
And he did do it well. There's no doubt about that. For the DJ Homebred here, he's a big, big player. I feel like I'm not going to think Vacoma is going to be a turf sire. Vacoma has been so prolific early on as a sire, rated by merit. When rated by merit blasted Ford Steel, he was the fastest 2-year-old literally in the country at 92 Beyer. Speed figure on July 13th is historic, is really what it is. To me, the extra turn for Ford Steel is the big deal today.
It should help. Vacoma, I just was looking at this before, has not, no offspring has tried a route yet on the grass. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Vacoma, he did win the Bluegrass, I think, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, he cut his teeth going a mile, basically. He was a Met Mile winner.
Yeah, he did win the Bluegrass.
He did win the Bluegrass, though, so he could get a route of ground, and George Weaver campaigned him did such a good job
Yeah.
with Vacoma, who really turned into a very prolific racehorse as they gave him time to develop into a 4-year-old. But it's odd that he's been so precocious. I think you had the stat a couple weeks ago. He was he like 8 for 15 with first-time starter?
It was very impressive. Well, and we've
Wild.
got a stat on Safi
Yeah,
as well.
okay,
here.
this is Safi with a turf starter. here.
Yep, a dirt to turf switch, I believe. Yeah, here we go. Dirt to turf, sprint to route. This is not his thing.
It's not good.
No.
It's as simple as that. Now, this is a barn that we've talked about this a lot. We talk about stats like this a lot. The Barbosas, the D'Angelos, the Safis. These are 25% guys. Well, there you see a stat that was not very appealing at all. To me, though, today I'm a little more forgiving. I don't want to tell you it's a 2-horse race, but
seems like it.
Yeah, you got any use for Zio Mo? They paid $100 for an Uncle Mo. That's $50,000 less than what he stands for. And here's Victor Barboza, 9% first turf too.
Yeah, that's not the greatest stat too. And I feel like if Victor Barboza is going to debut one going 2 turns, wait on one.
Yeah, I agree. To me, sometimes you see this actually at Saratoga too. These races, a lot of horses are in here for the second turn.
Yes.
Not so much
Not the
the
grass,
grass.
yeah.
And maybe that's what Zio Mo is in here today for as well. Let's go one more before the break here. It's another maiden special weight. This one at 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. These are state breds here, 3-year-olds and up. It's clean, and you will go towards the outside with the 6 Junction Road,
Yeah.
who I couldn't get a make on, to be honest with you. I thought he was such a good thing last time, and he was not very good at all.
Well, we talked about this yesterday, how they bet the Rohan horses with both hands, first-time starters, and you just have to stay away from them, honestly, I think. And this 3-year-old, he debuted on the grass. I'm happy to see him on the Tapeta today because I feel like the Tapeta, he's just a bit more suited for it. You just have to treat it as a separate surface, the Tapeta and the grass. And he's my best bet. I just like the outside post. I love the 7. I love your top pick. I think he's now, especially with the way the track is probably going to play, Fulanito looks down the road.
I would expect them to hammer Fulanito pretty hard. He
Yeah.
comes out of the Reef Runner race. Reef Runner's turned into a very, very good racehorse.
In Saratoga today.
On the turf, and he's done good work on the turf. We're going to add Lasix. The post is perfect. It's Jose D'Angelo. It's Amicio, and it's the old go time to me.
Yeah. Yes.
And he's going to probably be a short number, but that might help your best bet at what could be a better number than that. What about the 2, though? I think Asher Zed's a player in here, too.
I think so, too. The Dave Fox barn has had a good weekend and really has had a fantastic year, honestly. The horse has some versatility. It just depends on, if he wants to get it done today.
Well, you know what I look at, too? I know the work was before the last race, but how about that Tapeta drill on July 7th?
Yeah,
Yikes.
it seems like he handles it quite well. And this is his first time trying it.
Yeah,
too.
bullet drill 46-4 in the morning on the Tapeta. So while he didn't, and then on June 22nd, too. So while he hasn't tried it in the afternoon, and we have told you, and we continue to tell you, they work really fast on the Tapeta in the morning. Those are big time work. So it's a competitive race in the 4th. We'll see how it shakes out. And we'll take a break now because when we come back, Ronnie's got the ticket for the Rainbow. It's up to $250,000 in that estimated jackpot. Those estimates have been right on, and they've been firing in this Rainbow. So stay tuned.
And they're off.
Win big with new DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
And welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you. A beautiful Sunday fun day here in Hollandale Beach to wrap up another 3-day race week. And that Rainbow 6, as we alluded to before we went to the break, $250,000, $250,000 is your estimate. We'll take a look at Ron Nicoletti's ticket. He'll be out here with me for the opener. And he hit it the other day. He's a little more condensed today at 38.40, and it looks like he's throwing a dart at the first 2 legs. And I don't disagree with that, Samantha. I thought, especially race 5.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, and we'll get into it in just a moment. Race 8, though, you see his single. That's Fly the W. This horse, what a cool horse, and we'll watch his replay when we get into that race. And then race 9, just too deep for him. Stiletto Heels and Megan Making Money. I think Megan Making Money is... Oof, she's going to be tough. You can beat her. This thing will pay quite well. And then in race 10, the finale, he's got the 2 Possession, Arisima, the 5, and the 9, Denver's Alley. I think that horse might wire the field there.
Yeah, Denver's Alley, likely an anchor for a lot of people in the finale. Let's get it going, though, here in race 5. We're at 1 mile and a 16th on that firm turf course. The rails are out at 66 feet. It's fillies and mares, 3-year-olds.
Tropical Turf pick 3.
Oh, boy, we can't skip that. Tropical Turf pick 3 as well. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'm singling here. I'm not going to – I tried to beat this barn yesterday on the grass, and I couldn't get it done. Race 8, I have the 9 on top, Fly the W, but a couple others. And then in race number 10, I do have Denver's Alley, but I also have a closer, which is Arisima. It's $18, 15% takeout, $3 minimum. Get involved. This is such a good wager, Brian.
Sure is. 15% takeout is as good as you're going to get. Not a jock switch, but Jaramillo rides the 2. That's one of those early Zayas mounts. Just take note of that. It's he's up at Colonial today. We wish him the best of luck. We're both on the same horse. I didn't want to make this horse favored on the morning line. I got to be perfectly honest with you, because she lost to Ipanema Princess last time. Bring up the replay, guys, and we'll talk about it. But they're just going to send it in on Carlos David off the claim. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, they are. Judge Judith, this was an interesting race because she seems to find herself in this predicament where she looks down the road and always gets another horse to pass her, and this time it was Love Her Lots. She ran really well. She was just gassed at that last 1/8 of a mile. Now she's going to stretch out a little bit further, so read into that what you will. But the rails are at 66 feet here today. In that replay, they were at 24, so I think the main thing there is this rail setting is going to suit her quite well.
Sparns 31% off the claim, and that's going to suit her pretty darn good as well. And Ipanema Princess was my best bet of the day last time. She ran well, you just saw it, but she couldn't get there. I will say this. There is a lot of other speed in this race. Kizzy's down on the inside. She comes out of a key race. The stretch out maybe on both sides. That's the 4 horse. The lucky girl Coco at a long shot speed play.
Yeah.
There is pace in here for Ipanema Princess to run into.
Yes, there is, and maybe today's her day.
Maybe, but she's a tough horse to trust with that kind of running style as well. Musical Romance was good last time. She was way the best. She was widest every step of the way.
Yeah, she was. It was a tricky situation for her, but she was never going to lose, it looked like. No,
and it is Safi, and that's a positive, but I got to believe they're going to really fire hard on Judge Judith today off the claim for a potent barn. Late pick 5 kicks off in race number 6. We'll go 6 furlongs on a fast main track. These are fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2. It's my best bet, so the scratches didn't hurt me, but the 2 big-time contenders come out of this race. The 1 Lightning Dust and the 9 Tovia are out, and Defended, who was going to be, I expected her to be favored. It's going to be a very short price now. Let's see what you did in the late pick 5.
I spread here. I have my long shot in this race, and we'll get into it. Race 7, I do have the 8 on top. That's Unrelentless. Race number 8, I do have the 9. That is Fly the W. There's Megan Making Money, my single, and then Denver's Alley, as well as Arisima. $36 play for me.
Well, both you and Ron are looking at this race a lot different than I am, because I had Defended all the way as my best bet of the day, but we'll see where you're going, and your going is at the almost to the outside with the 7 Red Hot Spark, who you said is your long shot.
Yeah, the starch is going to come out now of this horse. Yeah, it was 8-1 on the line, so we'll lose a few points here with some favorites out. But I liked the last dirt race. It was back in April. I thought it was a really good effort, at least. That was with different connections. Now we're with Herb Miller. But this is the first time on the dirt for Herb, and I think that she can improve in a race where I don't have a clue, to be honest.
Yeah, I just feel like Defended now back on the main track, on the drop. for Oscar Gonzalez, who fired yesterday off the claim and is just doing nothing wrong. She's gonna be tough.
Yep. She's the one to beat.
She's down on the inside now. I don't think that's ideal, but Super Spin should be a square price. This is Joe Orsino and Ocasio. Jonathan Ocasio got a lot of pickups today, and this one now with Edgard again at Colonial. Ocasio here, he could have a day.
He could, and this horse, the way the race is going to set up, it looks like this filly will be on the lead or close to it.
Involved. There's no doubt about that. Let's go to the late pick 4 now in race number 7. Take a look at my ticket now. Very tight ticket for me. I'm going to go 4 deep here, and then a couple singles on some 9 balls there in race number 8. And that is Fly the W. Will not try to beat him today, even though it's on the turf. Race 9, 3 deep with the 6. And that is Alley's Gift. And then in race number 10, another 9. And you talked about it already. Denver's Alley is just set up to score today. It's as simple as that. And that's why I will keep this tight at just $6. But the opening leg, as you can see, I'm going 4 deep here. We're 6.5 on a fast main track. Fillies 3-year-olds are 4 and up, which have never won 3 races or a race since February 11th. We do have a scratch of the 3 Wicca Wisdom, and you are on the 8. And that is Unrelentless on a drop for Dave Fawkes on the outside.
Yeah, this is a huge drop. The last win was for the $35,000 level. That was during the championship meet. It was also against 3-year-old fillies, just straight. So I get maybe some hesitation there, but this is a necessary drop, and I love the fact that she's going to stick at the 6.5.
Yeah, I don't disagree that she's the horse to beat. My long shot's in here. It's the 5, Patty's Having Fun. Listen, you got the 6, she's out of here. You got the 7, Foxy Lady, and you got the 8, Unrelentless, who are all the favorites. They're all coming in off total no-shows.
Yes, they are. And she is,
If nothing else, Patty's Having Fun, albeit in very slow time, did blast 2 L's last time.
She did, and she's got confidence. And, hey, that wasn't that easy of a race. I didn't think so.
I thought it was a good effort.
I thought it was too. And look, I mean, she beat Super Spin.
Mm-hmm. She's only run 3 times. That was her second start off the claim, and she's got some tactical speed to be involved throughout. What's going on with Foxy Lady, who was off the claim for Carlos David after an absolutely total no-show last time? 2 for 23 on a fast main track too.
Well, hey, she's better on the main track. Well, I shouldn't say that. On the fast track, on the main track, she's got 3 wins. On the synthetic, she's just got 2.
Yeah.
So I like to see her back on the dirt here, especially first off the claim.
We'll see what they do. She's got a big bullet there on July 28th up at Palm Meadows as well. Late pick 3 in race number 8. Don't forget, that's $1 in the late pick 3. We'll go 7.5 on the turf here. Traditional rail setting, that's good. Starter optional claimer for 3-year-olds and up. Jock switch on the 1. Awesome Bourbon will be ridden by Miguel Vasquez. On the outside, the 12, La Loba Feroz, will be ridden by Joseph Trejos. That's a bit of a late one that we got right before we came on the air. And let's just show you the definition of a professional racehorse at work here. There's
no other way to put it.
On the turf, by the way.
Yeah, on the turf. Turf to PETA, it doesn't matter for this horse. Even on the fast main track, he wins. He's so classy. This was 2 starts back. It was a good race. Hot-blooded came back to win. He's just going in the right direction. Yes, he's going to take a bit more weight today, but he usually does.
Yeah, he usually does. You're right, because these types of races, he's spotting up to 9 pounds to some of these. But boy, oh boy, he is just all racehorse, and he loves to beat you. And I just think these are the type we should celebrate.
Yes,
and
definitely.
He'd run on Hollandale Beach Boulevard if they carted a race out there too. I think
he'd win it too.
And he'd win it too. I think it's so cool. The danger, the wild card, but clearly the main danger is on the inside with Awesome Bourbon. Second time Safi, but it hasn't been out in, I'm not going to test you on this, but believe me, 363 days.
Wow. Good maths there. Yeah, What do we do with this colt? I have no idea. He's been working solid at Palm Meadows. I wasn't able to see any of those breezes, but the gate work, tune-up, I like a lot.
All one turn up there at Woodbine as well.
Yes.
And you couldn't make up a different turf course that has a Woodbine at Gulfstream Park. I will say this, 7.5, he's down on the inside. That can carry a horse even if maybe he's not a true 2-turn horse.
Yeah, that's true. I do agree with you there.
Mr. Joseph isn't going to put him in here if he doesn't think he can get 2 turns. From there, I couldn't
throw
come
a dart
up.
at it.
Yeah, I think so too. Vladislav won. He's got turf form. Social long distance has got turf form as well. But I think the gap from those two, and certainly the gap from Fly the W to Awesome Bourbon, is a big one as well. The 9th, late double. 5.5 on a fast main track. State bred optional claimers here, fillies and mares. 3-year-olds and up. It's clean. It's Megan making money. She's just all over the place. She'll run on Tapeta. She's like a sprint version of Fly the W. And boy, did she hum on the main track last time against open company, too.
Yeah, she did. And this is significant that she's getting back with state bred. So we'll take a look at the replay because Kiki Love is in here. Kiki Love was not great at all. Now Megan making money, just this is what she does. She breaks sharp and she just keeps on going. I think that was a very competitive race to put away Sophia's Storm like that. I think she's just really, really in top form right now, Brian.
Sophia Storm, by the way, had come in off of 2 really solid, strong wins, too. And Megan Megan making money just completely laughed at her.
Yeah.
When you got speed like that, it's going to play. With that being said, Stiletto Heels is very, very fast. There's other speed. Here's a stat now on Ronald Coy, too. And we're kind of just getting to know this barn a little bit, but the sample's big enough now where we know he's pretty darn sharp.
Yeah, the past 6 months, he's really unloaded some nice runners at all levels.
Yeah, I agree with that. And they're going to have to catch Megan making money. I just wondered if maybe the speed to the inside and then Alle's Gift, who we haven't seen for Rohan. I got to believe she's very, very live in here.
Yeah.
I love this post for her, and she's going to add the Lasix, too.
This is all big things here. The works are always fast with Rohan. I think maybe she'll need a race.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. This is going 5.5, so I would imagine she's fit enough here.
I would think so. I will caution everybody that not only is she facing older horses for the first time, those are 2-year-old races.
Right.
She was in as well, but I got to believe she's going to be live and pop a big one here. Eva Nora was my long shot last time. She got run off her feet a little bit.
Did.
She's back on the main track.
I like that. The race where she was last on it was a really nice victory.
Yeah, and I know she hasn't worked since that race, but look at the bullet on the main track on July 14th.
And when you're at this point of the year and you just ran on July 21st.
Doesn't bother me.
Exactly, so that's
No,
good. Yeah.
Not a negative at all. It's just more looking at that drill on the 14th.
We know that the main track's a good spot.
Exactly. Race number 10 now. We'll wrap it up on the turf. We'll go a mile here in a $25,000 maiden claimer. The rails are at 66 feet in this one. Amicio Jaramillo will ride the 8. Fiorenza. And we talked about it. We can actually show you Denver's Alley, too, is going to take the biggest drop in all of racing for Mike Lerman from the maiden special weights.
This was a huge effort on May 19th here. There were 4 next out winners. Denver's Alley just took him as far as she could go. Pardon me. She ran huge here, Brian. The rails were at 52 feet this day. She just got tired late, and that was only her second start off of a long layoff and after the trainer switch here. She was entered a couple weeks ago. It was off the grass. They scratched her. We're back here. We're staying on the grass. She's going to be one, especially with the rails at 66 feet, that benefits the most.
Yeah, and I know the stats with Mike Lerman are flattered because XY Speed has turned into one of the best turf sprinters in the country, but don't lose sight of the fact Mike's winning races with other horses, too. He's had a very, very strong year and a good job, and hopefully XY Speed will meet the starter pretty darn soon with what was happening there in the Troy up at Saratoga.
Yeah.
It's obviously, if it's not the 9, it's the 5, right, Aracima?
Yes, she's burned some money too,
yeah.
but you talk about the Plankton race a lot. You like the Plankton race.
Yeah, but her running style is just not going to cut it.
No, she's going to, especially with the rails like this is really tough for her, but she is the one-run closer of this field.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
but you're just not going to win turf races at Gulfstream Park on a firm, fast turf course with a running style like that, and you know, that's why she's 0 for 14 with 5 underneath pieces, so she's going to get a slice. But, boy, and here's the other thing, too. The best horse in the race has got speed.
Exactly.
So it's a double whammy for Aracima, and so to me, they're not equal in this spot. And I think a lot of people are going to anchor with Denver's Alley.
Yeah.
So we got a good 10-race card, turf racing galore today.
Yeah.
But we had a really good one yesterday. The first 2-year-old stakes of the year were yesterday in the Sharp Susan and the proud man, and we'll lead it off. Future Stars is right. I'd be really interested to see with Carlos David. Are we going with Winning You're In or Naughty Rascal? Here's Winning You're In.
First,
I don't know if is she going to the Grade 1 Spinaway or what? This was a tour de force yesterday.
It really was. And she did it the hard way, too. Now, she was on her wrong lead here late, but she took off again down the lane. It was very impressive.
She came through up the inside, too, like a very professional racehorse does. This is a good job by you sussing out Naughty Rascal off that hard-to-see but very determined debut win. Very troubled, too.
This is a gutsy horse, too, and a beautiful ride by Edwin Gonzalez. It was this is a nice horse. This horse was the first-time starter for Roguish to win, and now it's got to be his first stakes win. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to look, but you would think.
That was the old, they could have ran around 4 times and was not getting by.
No.
Was not letting the 6-5 favorite by. Very, very game effort for Gerald Bennett and the team, and doubles up now off 2 for 2 now. And so Future Stars is to be sure. And the 2-year-old racing, I think even Friday and Saturday, even the past week or two, has really kind of ramped up. You talked about it yesterday, too, and I couldn't agree with you more. The precociousness of May and June, where I'm just way better than you, I break running, and that's the end of it. That's no longer a thing. You got to earn it more now.
You do, and you saw that with Classic, of course, there.
That's a
in
very
the Proud
good
Man.
point. Absolutely. Your best bet today?
I believe it's Junction Road. Now, if you would have asked me to do that today, I would have had the 7 full.
Circumstances might be a little changing on the Tapeta today. I am in race 6 with Defended with 2 key scratches. That 5-2 is very likely long gone. How about your long shot?
It is Red Hot Spark, which I don't know.
In that race,
yeah, I'm not sure what price I'm going to get.
Yeah, you're probably going to get cut in half now.
Yeah.
3-1 and 9-2, at least on your morning line, are out. I'm a race later in race number 7, and that is the 5. Patty's Having Fun, in a race with a lot of unknowns. Hey, if nothing else, she comes in off a win, and a good-looking win over 2 L's last time.
All 3 of our best bets won yesterday. You, Ron, and Ice.
How about that?
And both 2 of the races were in the Rainbow Six of our best bets, and we had 7 of 11 winners.
All right.
So good day yesterday for us.
That was a good day. Yeah, and you had a couple of nice prices, and that Warfront in the finale.
That was
got
a great pick by you.
5-1. So hey, we love it, and get some ice cream out of that. Yesterday.
Exactly.
And other things. So that's it. Pete's upstairs. We got a really fun card here, fast and firm. Ronnie's coming out for the opener. That rainbow is $250,000 today, and we hope to see you out here at beautiful Gulfstream Park.